crew, who are part of the replay crew, excuse me. This is Sangria from City Beauty, of course. I'm going to do the introduction and give YouTube time to notify people that I am here, and hopefully they will be, because sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. So, hello and welcome. My name is Dion. I call this the crazy troll nation of YouTube. The crazy is knowing that you can be your authentic self in a world where people will tell you who and how you should be. Just be your authentic self. The troll part is not caring too much. Hey, Janet, about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. Try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand, a certain tool, or a certain technique. Hey, Janessa, because that's, hey, Fatty Cat, because that's what they're telling you in whatever video that you're watching. Use whatever you want to, however you want to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. I don't know about anywhere else in these YouTube streets. And yeah, I said streets. Hey, Sarah. But here we believe in self-acceptance and self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Listen, y'all, and remember this always, every day. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you're not wearing face paint. So that's what the Crazy Troll Nation stands for. That's our motto. 2 things about me for the replay crew. I curse sometimes because I curse. It offends some people. Other people don't care. So I figure, let me just put it out there in the beginning. Because if it sounds like I said something, chances are I did. I own my stuff. Yeah, I do. And the other thing is, there's an organism that lives in my throat that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches. I do try to be aware of it. I promise you to say excuse me. But sometimes I'm not aware of it till like after the fact when I'm watching the video on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, damn. That was grossly and for a troll. So, but that's what we stand for. Those are 2 tidbits about me. And thank y'all for being here. I feel like I might be having a manic period of time in my life. Since I started feeling better from those 13 days of on again, off again migraines and the hormones and the sweats and all of that, I have been extremely productive. I remember saying I didn't have any videos in the bank. I'm scheduled out for the next 2 weeks. So I am very much back on track. And also I'm feeling like I want to get rid of more stuff. And so that's why this is like, help me declutter, because I'm not sure. And so I need y'all to help me with that. But for right now though, I don't plan on doing swatches of stuff. And I did have out to do a look with Circo Loco today. So here's my question. Do we want to get into the madness of to declutter or not to declutter? Hey, Elite. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. So do I go ahead and just do this look first, which is this paper? This look has been in here for like over a year. And I've never done it. Or should we just jump into the should I or should I not declutter? So that's my question for y'all. What do y'all think? So should I do the look first or just jump into the stuff? Also today, I did not do much to my brows. These are my natural brows. All I did was brush them up and brush them over. And so I brushed them up, and I do keep them pretty tamed because I'll brush them up and then I'll just cut the excess, like the long hairs. And so there are a few, so I just put them back in line. And so this side over here, the same thing. I brushed them up and then just brush them down. So these are what my natural brows look like. And so I wanted to see, like, how do I feel about a look when my brows aren't done? And and I do really think, hi Alexandria, I do really think it's because that I'm having this moment with the brows, because my Urban Decay Naked palette video, when they relaunched it, and I had the palette, y'all know it's 12 shades. One side, the lighter shades, I did a look on one eye and I didn't do my brows. And on the other eye, I did the other 6 shades, and that brow I had done. And so someone commented that they really like the lighter eye because it makes me look younger. But they did like the darker eye too. And they said they liked the lighter side brow. So I think in my subconscious, I'm like, let me see how I feel about it. Because y'all know I always do my brows when I do an eyeshadow look. If I'm just going out and I do a base face like I have one now, and I will leave my brows like they are. But if I'm doing eyeshadow, I'm doing my brows. And so, oh, thank you, Fatty Cat. They don't have much of a tail. I overplucked on purpose because one of them kind of went this way and one came this way. And so I plucked them, I overplucked kind of in the same place, so at least I can kind of get the tails the same. And you may have seen me do my brows before, but so these are my natural brows, what I have left. So, and I like natural brows too, but I also do like a tail. If I could go back in time, I wonder, would I have not over tweezed? And even as much as I would like to think I would not have, I really think I still would have. Just because, you know, we think we would make different choices, but deep down we probably wouldn't. So let me see what you guys have answered. Sometimes it's hard to depart with things we enjoy, and I do. Janet said, do the look first. And so, yeah, the stuff that I'm considering decluttering, I do really like it, but it's like, part of me is a little ambivalent, and it is Natasha stuff, so y'all can probably imagine, because y'all know like what's my vibe and what's not. And so I did pull out other palettes to compare to, because I wanted to see, like, because I'm questioning would I miss it if it was gone. And it's just ironic that I just started a Natasha Denona series, and here I am thinking to declutter. So I guess the end of the series will tell. Sometimes it's hard to depart, but yeah. So having friends help, exactly. That's why I titled this, Help Me Decide, Help Me Declutter. Did I say hi to you, Alexandria, already? If I didn't, hi. I'm going through comments again. I like declutter, says Janessa, but they also stress me out. I have to remind myself these are your things. You don't have to get rid of them if you really don't want to. I'm just in this thing where I just want to get rid of stuff. And I go through this at least twice a year, and there's nothing else really to get rid of. And not counting my Natasha Denona Quince, I think I said 65 palettes. And so I'm in my sweet spot. And so it's just like, I'm just really, I don't know. And that's why I said maybe I'm just having a manic moment or something in the last couple of days. You like the natural brows? Hey, everybody. Fatty Cat. Oh, hey, Grace. Hey, Grace. Spotify is changing their POS stuff. I don't know if that has anything to do with the email I got or not. You really like the clutter. I like the items you declutter, but have to make room for new favorites. And the thing is I'm at my sweet spot. So I do not intend to buy more stuff. And some of my notoriously morbid stuff, both PR and stuff I purchased, some of them are past their PAO, but they still perform okay. And so I'm looking at those like, you know, should I just let some of those go too? You got, okay. So I was still like, I don't understand what that is. And so what I did, Grace, because in my default settings, I do have both the impact link and the Natasha Denona link and the Natasha Denona code. And so what I did was I added my Shop My link above those links so people have options on what link they want to use. What I do like about Shop My links, though, y'all, is that even if the website is having a sale, using my link, you still will have access to the sale, versus if you try and use somebody's code that's 15% off and the sale is 20%, you're not going to get the 20% unless you manually take off the 15% code. So I do like Shop My because a lot of brands these days have been having a whole lot of sales. All right, so Janice says, do the look first. Who else? Hey, Lock, you need to add Natasha Denona impact code. I didn't have a code, I had a link. And when I did go into Shopify, like it is there. So I don't know what else like I'm supposed to do. And I poked around a little bit and got frustrated and left it alone because the last traffic I had to Natasha's site was in March. And so I don't, there's not a lot of people that shop my actual Natasha link. They might be using my Shop My link, I don't know. But so anybody else, particularly the members, do the eye look first. I don't know why my nose is running. This side is clean, so I'm just gonna sit this here because I don't want to. I don't want to like dig in my nose with a paper towel. That's what I meant, the link. Yeah, and the link is there, and I do have a little bit of money in there. Not enough for a payout yet, but that's pending since Well, not pending because I didn't meet the threshold for payout, but that was back in March. And so I know, Fatty Cat, I'm a mess. My nose is running. So Grace says do the eye look first. Tag, y'all. I need to all right, I'm gonna dip out because I'm gonna stick this in my nose and just go in a circle. You know what this feels like? When they first started doing the COVID test and they would stick it up in your brain and circle it. So I just put it in. Why am I telling y'all how I just like clean my nose? Yo, I am tripping. So I'm getting out the primer, getting out the paint pot. Okay, so I know I'm gonna catch you. I usually turn my AC down before I sit here because even if it's comfortable in here, these lights, y'all, I start sweating. And so this might sound crazy. So and I never ran track, but I have family members who did. It was comfortable in here at 77. I was really comfortable. But I turned it down to 75 because when I sit here, these lights, y'all, I start sweating. But I guess right now I'm too cold because now my nose is running. All right, so I'm going to prime the eye. We're going to get into this look. Let me show you what Circo Loco looks like. I do feel like this will forever be in my stash, and that's how I feel about Biba. This is just a fun palette. Some people didn't like it. They're like, oh, I'm trying to get the glares off. They're like, oh, it's chaotic. Da, da. And I'm like, yeah, Circo Loco means crazy circus. So yeah, but to me, this is really fun, and I loved all except 2 looks that I did with this palette. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm at number 20 something with the looks for this. You loving the oranges? The oranges don't show up much on me. Like, look at my complexion. The oranges do not show up much on me, but we are going to use them today. Excuse me. Me too, Grace. Some people are like, oh no, and I'm just like, you know what it is? I think you have to like color and you have to be motivated to come out of your comfort zone and just do something different because there's no blacks, no browns, no grays. And so when people think of transition shade and outer corner and all of that, they're going to look at this and be like, nah. But I do really feel like this and Biba will forever be in my stash because they are just, I just love them. So hopefully I like this look even without my brows being done. Well, I know where to stop my shadow. Hey, Sylvia. Because that's what happened before when someone did my makeup. Like the shadow was... Y'all were here for that. And so for me, having my tails on helps me know like where to stop. As far as like if I'm doing a brow bone shade or like this area right here. And I do still see the shape of where my brow would be. So I am still following that. And also because of how this primer and the paint pot works, it's shadow's not going to really adhere to where there's nothing there. So I just have to not put the primer in the paint pot where I don't want to put shadow. And so this is this. I have one of brown on my inner rims, a copper on the first half of lower lash line, and a green on the outer half of lower lash line, according to my notes. So I'm just like, damn, what was I thinking? But yeah. You're good. Just use your instincts. Thank you, Fatty Cat. I appreciate that. I am going to move the mirror a little bit further over here so I don't look like I'm way over here. And actually it is covering part of the screen for me on my end, but I don't want to be like way out here. And I do like how this part of my brows look. It's just when I would get out to the outside, like over here, it's just like, even if I followed my shape, they were way different. And yeah, so that was my bright idea. I did have them waxed once. It was fine. I had them waxed the second time. It was fine. I had them waxed the third time. And I had 2 second-degree burns this entire area. I said, oh, hell no, I am not. And so I had texted her, and she was like, well, come back in. And she had also did my manicure and a pedicure and the brows. And so when I went in, she was just like, here. She handed me like all the money for everything. For the manicure, the pedicure, and the brows. I said, no, just for the brows, be fine. She's like, no, please, just take it, just take it. And so I was just like, ooh. So I think she might have, I don't know. Because I had been going to her for my pedicures for a while. So I don't think that she would have thought I was going to blast her or, leave a bad review or anything. But she was just like pushing the money on me. And I'm like, no. She's just like, I'm like, damn, like I don't want to fight her in here. So, And so that was the last time I had my brows waxed. And it was horrible. And so I was doubling up on foundation on my eyelids to cover up the burn. And it was like this entire area and even up here. Like it, I said, I am not waxing again. So that's when I'm like, oh, let me just start tweezing. But I think that was when I was like 35, I think that happened. So this was like way back. And then I started tweezing. Because even with the waxing, the tails were still different. It just polished up like up here and like below, like the stray hairs, those things. But I can easily just trim that with my little cuticle scissors, which is what I do. So I'm trying to remember where the shape is out here because I don't have any tails. You get the instincts. Okay, my brows have fallen out over the years. I legit have probably 4 hairs on each brow. Oh no. Oh no. My uncle had told me, he was like, and it's ironic because when I'm around people, they can't tell. You never tweet, thankfully. When I see people with bushy brows, I'm just like, that would have been me, but I'm trying to do all these things. And I love it. I love it. When I see, because y'all know we have, well, me, and it is common among people of color that this part of our face is darker than the rest. And so when I come across people who they loud and proud with their mustache area being disrespectful, and I respect that because I'm like, you know what? Because it's such a freedom in not feeling like or believing or wanting to cover up your natural stuff. And oh, thank you, Elite. Oh, can I click like on that? Oh, I'm gonna click hard on that too. Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. So there's a freedom in just being what is. And I know that's part of my intro, just embrace your natural features, but then enhance if you want to, when you want to. And so I do want to sometimes. So we're going to take electric. And this is this look that's on here. So whatever it comes out to be, this is electric right here. This shimmer blue. I want to point out something because some people were complaining there's 2 silvers. If you look at it, this is gray based. Purple base. That's why it's here with the purples. Hello. This one has like a greenish tint to it. So look at this one next to this. So this goes with these 3, and you can do whatever. So this kind of fits this little pocket, and this one fits these pockets. And so it's really not a chaotic palette at all. So we're going to take electric, this shade here. Y'all, I don't know about this. And this is what I'm used to. So when I say how, if I'm using a shadow and I pat it on and it doesn't go on, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm used to. Just taking it, tap the brush off, and just pat it, and there it is. And I'm spoiled that way. One of the things I was telling my niece, we talked very briefly about politics and the deportations and, yada, yada, yada. And I said, as far as them saying, well, not them, but one person in particular started the rhetoric that they're taking jobs from Americans. You like the purple base silver, but I would love to see the green base silver too. And am I using either one of those today? No. I'm looking at my notes. No. And I told her, I said, the jobs that a lot of the immigrants were doing, like the farming jobs and, stuff like that. I said, us Americans don't want to do that. I said, for the most part, and let me know if y'all feel this way too, those of you who are here in the United States. I told her, I said, in general, across the board, I think Americans that are born and raised here, I said, I think we're lazy and we're entitled. We want what we want. We go get what we want, but we don't really want to work hard for it. And I do own that. I know I'm spoiled as much as I complain about stuff. And I know that I don't know if I really feel entitled. Because I am a patient person. Because I'm trying to think of like when I'm in the store And, they're taking forever. Like, am I impatient? Or like, can I talk to the manager? Y'all need to hurry up. Like, I am patient and I'll just wait. Because, you just got to just wait. Being belligerent isn't going to help any. And so I told her, I said, for the most part, I think we're just spoiled and entitled. What also puts things in perspective for me a lot, and I posted one of the videos before, Rose and Anzai, Country Life. They live in rural China, and she's from Ghana, and she had a rural life in Ghana. Y'all, they be working their asses off. If they want bamboo for lunch, they go out to the hills and climb the hill and cut down bamboo. And I'm just like, damn, we want bamboo shoots. We just go to the grocery store. One of their videos, they were making rice. I didn't know it was such a process to make rice. I'm like, damn, we just go to the store and buy a bag or a box. And if we really lazy, like I'm a lazy chef, we get the Uncle Ben's, you nuke it for 90 seconds and it's done. That's spoiled and entitled. We want what we want and we want it now. But looking at that channel, I'm just like, wow. If somebody wants chicken, somebody may bring them a live chicken and they slaughter it, pluck it, boil it, all that stuff. And I'm like, we just go and buy a pack at the store. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, and yes, a rural life is way different than where I think most of us live, except Sandy. Y'all, I still have not heard from Sandy, and I'm trying not to think the worst. But she has a farm, and so she understands. But like us, those of us who don't have farms, spoiled and entitled. And that's why sometimes even when I talk about makeup, I'm like, first world problems. I want another swamp water palette. First world problems. Notoriously morbid, takes forever to ship. First world problems. Like some people don't have food, and I'm here like I want my damn makeup that I paid for 2 months ago. and being frustrated is to me a little bit of entitlement. Cause it's like I paid for it, send it in what I consider to be an appropriate time frame. So I'm trying to blend this out a little bit because I don't know what's going to happen with whatever we put on top of it. So thank goodness you didn't agree with that. Sandy has not been around on the channel much lately. I know, and I've texted her. I reached out to her on Instagram, and even looking at her Instagram, like she hasn't posted for months. I'm starting to sweat. And she's always been around, so I'm not used to not hearing from her, because she would always respond back to like my email by the next day, and so I'm just like weird, like how is she? So I'm really trying not to think the worst. I did check and I do not have her number, so we never text, because I was going to actually just call, but I don't have her number. But I did email and send yeah, me too. Dawn sent her message over there. So I am sweating. So now I'm looking for fallout. I don't see any. I see sweat though. That was the hourglass number 3. We're going to take this brush. This one is an Esom E45, and damn, I'm sweating. I'm glistening. Excuse me. This shade here is Fun to Mime. This shade here is Cotton Candy. This can make me look ashy, dusty, depending on how thick I make the line and what I put it next to. And the same with this one. But I have in my notes to put this for transition. This pale mint color. And so, oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. That is pretty. Oh. So y'all see how it does look a little dusty, but it's not like, oh girl, you ready for the casket. So I'm gonna go back with the brush that had electric. We're not adding more. I'm just going to come under this line of Fun to Mime. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. So, and that's another thing too, is like I've learned over the years, part of my makeup journey is if something makes me look ashy or dusty or something about it, just still try to work with it. And so I did find that when I do a thin line, yeah, it still looks dusty, but it doesn't look horrible. Where if I put that all over the lid, yeah, that I would be like, nah, we ain't going out like that today. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. And so what do y'all think about? Do you feel like or believe that in general, born and raised Americans are entitled and spoiled? And so when they were like, oh, they're taking jobs from us, I'm like, the jobs they have, we don't want. And I'm not saying it to be snobby, but even as a teenager, my mom would, tell us, get up and go out and get on a bus and go to the fields and pick blueberries. I always accidentally, intentionally missed the bus. I'm like, I ain't picking no berries. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I have not once made that bus. Y'all, oh my gosh. Maybe I should have put it on 73. I put my fan together, y'all, except I didn't because there's a pin missing. And I opened the side of the box and took out the pieces of the fan. And then I threw the box away. But I really think that pin was in the box. But I threw the box away like 5 days ago at the bottom of the dumpster. So I'm like, that box ain't there. So I'm going to just scoop up all the pieces and take them back and be like, it's missing a piece. Okay, Fatty Cat. Okay, take your time, though. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And then we also have fun to mine for tear duct. And so we're going to take this pointy brush. I think it's a crown brush. It rubbed off. This came in a subscription box. And so for tear duct, I'm just going to put it. Oh, that's pretty. Can y'all tell this is surprising me? That's pretty. Oh my gosh. And this paper has been in here for well over a year. Well over a year. I see a piece. See one little fleck of shadow. Y'all should see me with clients. They probably be like, how long is she going to pick at my face? And then I have to take Firework, this shade here, for the crease. And that's confusing to me because I don't do a crease because my crease is hidden. So I'm like, why'd I have that there? When's the last time you did a blue look? I don't remember. I do not remember. So we are going to take Firework for the crease. I don't know. And I remember saying before, so we're just going to put this on top of the blue, like right here. On the top half of Electric, but not covering Fun to Mime. And this is not showing. And I remember saying in another live that blue eyeshadow on red lipstick was not a POC thing when I was growing up. And I should have been specific because the colors at that time was like a pale blue and like a bright red lip. And that's what didn't look right on people of color. Because after the fact, I was thinking like, people of color do look bomb in blue eyeshadow. And a red lip depending. Like for me, I like a blue red. And so it is subjective based on, y'all, this ain't showing up at all. So we are tapping like straight in. Yeah, and I can't remember if like Nomad, Chicago Speakeasy, I just received any giveaway. Yes, I did a look not too long ago with it. You know what? No, it was last month. It is deepening it a little bit. It looks like over here in this mirror. It was in my roundup. It was in my May roundup video. Yeah, that's the last Nomad standing. That's my last Nomad palette that I have. And I thought about getting Berlin Underground again, but then I'm like, I do like the grunge factor, but I also like darker grunge shades. And so I talked myself out of it because I felt like I would be just getting it just because. And it is the new formula. And so part of me was like, ooh, but then I'm looking at the color story. And as much Notoriously Morbid as I have, I'm like, I do have dark base grunge colors. So this is what we're looking like. Okay, I'll check it out. It's the first one in a while. I do have a Chicago Easy playlist. And so if you just want to go to the playlist on my channel and just pick which videos you want to see, you'll see the looks that I did with it. Yeah, that's the last. Yeah, that one to me, I was like, yeah. So now I have to take Firework also on the lower lash line. Firework on the first half of the lower lash line. So we're going to switch to this brush and we're going to go back into this orange, into Firework. And wait, first half. So that's here. So that's why there's a terracotta under there, which is really more like a copper because I didn't have a terracotta liner. So that's under there. But yeah, Chicago Speakeasy I really like. Sometimes I think to take my code out of my description box because one, it's not affiliated, and two, when people do shop using someone's codes, it's usually because they want to support that person. And so I would feel like, you know, if Grace had one, I'm like, okay, I would use hers because hers is affiliated because that'll support her. Even though either way you'll still save money, but part of me sometimes thinks to just take it out of my thing. And it's been so many years, I seriously doubt they'll ever make it affiliate. And plus I can't use some of their stuff because some of their stuff has pigments in it now, so you know. Hey Michelle! Dion, I heard your question. I'm folding clothes. I know that some of us are unappreciative of the freedoms we have. Being stationed out of the country, I was able to see the difference. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. And I watched a video today that I'm just making sure I'm not missing comments. Of 5 countries that are no longer really welcoming United States citizens. And I'm just like, this 45, 47, just like, man. An acrobat I have for the outer corner crease and second half of lower lash line. I must have wrote this way back when I was doing a YouTuber's way of doing makeup because I don't even do this anymore. Really. So acrobat, this is acrobat, this shade. So far we've used this one, and that one. And now we're taking this one. This one is the cream to powder. And I have that for, outer corner crease. Y'all, that is freaking weird. So we're going to take this brush. This is the Esom something, V31. You love yourself. Oh my gosh, Michelle, I love this palette. And I was saying earlier, I do think this is going to forever be in my stash. This is my second time having it. I refuse to be without it. I think it is so much fun. And people who complained about it, I'm like, y'all just stuck in your little ethereal monochromatic eyeshadow look box. There's only like 2 looks I've done with this that I was just like, yeah, no. But all the other ones, in between this one and the first one I had, I'm up to like 22, 23 looks I've done with this palette. Something is in this eye. I'm trying to see which way it wants to go. But yeah, I'm in the double digits. I forget who I was watching. I don't know if it was Locke's channel and she was saying someone else had said something or somebody I watched, but they ranked their palettes according to how many looks they've done with that palette versus ranking it by how much they like it. And I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. This would definitely be at the top. Definitely 20 something looks with this palette. And then I also have this for crease. I don't even do a crease shade. I don't know when I wrote this. Dion, I think the real reason they're doing away with Job Corps is to force those young people into jobs others won't do. Yeah, and I wasn't even talking about that, but I did see the thumbnails for that, and I went to Job Corps back in Jeepers. I think it was 1990. And I remember telling y'all that I was couch surfing for a while, which is a more pleasant way to say homeless. I went to Job Corps because I needed somewhere to stay. Because I was moving like every week or so at that point, or every couple weeks, and I'm just like, I just need to like be somewhere and just be. Hey Tanya, and I went to the one I hadn't even heard of this place, Callicoon, New York. So it was upstate in New York in the mountains. This is not showing up over this blue, and then we do have that fireworks shade on top of the blue too. This is looking kind of greenish. That's where Firework is, that orange shade. But this isn't saying much over that blue. On its own, it does show up good. But And I remember for me, and I do think it's different now because there's more certification programs, and some jobs you only need a certification. And when I was growing up, I started work when I was 14. I did have to get working papers, but the issue was some jobs was like, oh, you need experience, and I would say, well, how am I going to get experience if you don't give me a job? And so I believe, let me know if y'all remember this place. My first job ever was at Roy Rogers. Do y'all remember Roy Rogers? That was my first job. And so for years, though, jobs were, McDonald's, Roy Rogers, seasonal at Macy's for Christmas, how people just wreck the tables with sweaters and stuff. So I'd be refolding and refolding stuff all day long. Hostess at a restaurant, the one that greet you at the door. That didn't last long. Yo, they were racist. It was an Italian restaurant. And I'm just like, that was my first, like, for real, working with racist people. I'm just like, this ain't it. So I went to Job Corps because I just needed somewhere to live where I didn't have to think, where am I going to go next week or the week after? And I think that at that time they gave you up to 2 years to finish. I was done in 6 months. And they also have you do a work study, but it's within Job Corps, whatever facility you're at. And so even though it was work experience, it wasn't like legit, I went out and got a job and got experience. You know what I mean? It was just a part of the program. But I was done in 6 months and then I went back to Jersey. But yeah. What I do think though, Sarah, I don't know about right now because the world is a different place. When your first job in shows does with Dave and Buster's, that's a fun place though. Yeah, you didn't know about it before. Yeah, I saw the thumbnail and I was just like, oh man, these people. Like, and you know what? I think a lot of this stuff is just distractions because the other stuff that's going on. And I do usually watch MSNBC, but I do see thumbnails from other channels, CNN, The Damage Report, and they report on stuff that I might not have seen or heard from MSNBC because it's just so much stuff happening every freaking day. And so, yeah. But I used to think, Sarah, that everybody, or almost everybody, should, after high school, like if you don't have a job, you should be required to sign up for the military for 2 years. 2 years, because 2 years go by quick because it takes you 6 months for your training. And when you have 6 months left, they start, kind of letting you go. So it's really only, like a year that you're actually serving, like for real. And so I used to think that, if you don't know what you want to do, go into the military, sign up for 2 years. If you like it, stay. If you don't, at least you can have some type of something. And even if your job is whatever, you do learn to respect authority. You learn to follow rules, that type of thing. And these young folk these days, shit, they need a foot up their ass. So then we have Spiral for inner lower lash line, and this is Spiral, and this is a metallic. So I don't know what I thought this look was going to look like, but it's like not really much going on up there. And so I could have took the blue up higher, especially since I didn't do my brows. Because to me, this is really just bare. Like this whole area right here is just like, where are you? I think everyone should have to work a year of retail work and a year of food service. Hopefully more people will learn how to treat service workers. You done said a whole word, Janessa. So we're taking Spiral. Wait a minute. Inner lower lash line? Because we have another shade down there. So this is just going to brighten up just this piece right there. Y'all, I don't know when I wrote this look. I used to say the same thing. Core training would be good, but now, yeah. Because kids be graduating high school and they are the most disrespectful. I was about to say MFers, like the whole actual word. And I'm just like, y'all need some home training. Y'all need a foot in your ass. Y'all need to get yelled at, be made to do push-ups. Like you need to learn to at least respect authority. Because that plays a role in everything you do as far as jobs, unless you always have a remote job. Like you're going to have to be around people and learn how to deal with different people. So the last thing is Grin for the tear duct area, but I don't know when I wrote this look. This is Grin. I love this shade. This look though, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I thought. And I don't know why I got so much stuff in the tear duct, because we have fun to mime over here in the tear duct area too. Ooh. Y'all, this shade. Oh But these days, they at least need to be told no for the first time. Not only being told no, but also respecting when they're told no. Because they will, some of these people, some of these youngsters these days, you tell them no, you can't have that. What the fuck you mean, motherfucker? I'm just like, oh, you know what? Meet me out back by the dumpster. Like, nah, because you ain't gonna be talking to me like that. But it's just, and I grew up in the city, so it was like a whole lot of disrespect. And I'm just like, y'all need to at least learn to respect us already. So this is what the look is looking like. But to me, I need more. Not need. I want more. Ow, this blue and gold is making me think of the first Wonder Woman movie when she wears that blue gown. I want to put more up here, and I don't know if it's because the brows are bare or what, but it something is lacking for me, and I'm wondering if I should take firework because this doesn't show up much. I'm wondering if I should dust that. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm gonna take this as an hourglass brush. But what do y'all think of Spoiled and Entitled? You had a summer job at Votech, Yep. And that's what was several of the ones they interviewed said they had nowhere to go. I went to Job Corps because I ain't have nowhere to go. I didn't want to keep moving every week, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Like 16, 17 years old, well, 17, 18 years old, and like every 2 weeks you're moving, and after doing that for, a year or so, you already just know, like, don't get too comfortable. Everything is fine right now, but I do like how this looks. So it is showing up a little bit, but that's this shade. It is blending into my skin tone, but at least it's giving me something, because this just looks too bare for me. It was an experience. And when I started my undergrad, I started at community college, and I did my first 2 years, because liberal arts, you can transfer those almost anywhere. And then to finish, and I took classes in the summer. And so I actually got my bachelor's in 3.5 years instead of 4. Because at that time, I was determined. I'm like, my life is going to be something. And it needs to be like right now. And so I transferred to Long Island University on Long Island. It was culture shock, y'all. Little, hood rat. Well, not really hood rat because I wasn't hoeing, but little, ghetto girl up here with old money. And when I say spoiled and entitled, I think I was 20 when I went. No. Because I was 25 when I graduated. So I was 23, 24. And these snot-nosed 17, 18-year-olds fresh out of high school talking about, well, I'm only here because my dad said if I want to work in the family business, I got to at least have a bachelor's degree. And I'm just like, so that's why you're here. Like, I'm here because I'm trying to survive. And it was culture shock for me because I had never been around old money. And some of the, I got some stories. I'm going to hold on to them because I don't want to get all hype. I do like how this looks better, but it's still, something. I have a fantasy of getting a part-time job at a store, and I would be a good employee while I was there. But I would be lying in wait for the first real Karen and just go to, well, you didn't say go to, just go all retail vengeance. Yeah, so it was, y'all, my life. So when people be acting up, I'm like, y'all don't know me. So what are y'all thinking about this look? Like, I do want to do my brows. It just looks undone. Let's do liner. But I must have wrote this eons ago because I don't even do crease and all that transition. And it just really just turned out all blue, which is pretty. Y'all, these shades in here, oh my gosh. All right, so let's look at eyeliners. Lashes, the foo-foos, or you mean mascara? Or that white does make my lashes look like the foo-foo lashes. Eyeliner, I'm thinking, oh goodness, what are we thinking for eyeliner for upper lash line? I am sweating, y'all. Like, what is happening? I didn't wash the brushes I used yesterday. And I did I do 2? Yeah, I did 2 looks. So I'm looking for a lethal brush. Here's a lethal brush. So foo-foo lashes, Janet, or the white mascara that makes me look like I have foo-foo lashes? You should join the membership, Janet, because I'll be asking you a lot of questions. And whenever I ask, excuse me, when I ask questions, you do always answer. So I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking. Why does it look like something's in here? The white mascara. You should join, Janet. And I pulled out the white mascara. I'm putting the Esom back. You do be having good ideas, though. I will say that. And you are hella supportive. And on Grace's channel, too. So, I don't know what. We can be way different and do this hot pink. What do y'all think? Yeah, let's do that hot pink. Or we could do the orange because we put those orange shades on. It didn't show up. Let's do the hot pink. Let me stop being indecisive. And that is Psych Pop, this duo right here. We're going to go for that light pink. And so, yeah. And these days with certificate programs, as I was saying, people can get paid, especially if it's something in tech. They can definitely make good money just with a certificate. But yeah, but these kids these days, can you imagine if they didn't fire me the first time? Oh, I didn't empty out this water, and this water is pink. So I guess we used the pink one last time. Just gave you a write-up. I would be so apologetic. Then wait for round 2. I hear you. I hear you. It's something that I do hear about on well, not hear about, but some YouTube videos, they talk about how Americans, when they go to other countries, they treat it like trash. They just act like they own it, and they just like whatever, even in their hotel rooms or they're out in public, and they just being loud and rowdy if they think their food is taking too long or whatever. And yeah, spoiled and entitled. And it's like, if you're going to act like that, keep your ass at home. Don't go to another country and act like that. Like, that is not where you live. You're visiting. So, like, why are you going to show your ass? Like, that's just something, yeah, silly expectations. It's like, go back home. Go back to the United States if you want to be acting like that. And I think it's really unfortunate because that's why some countries, or at least some citizens of other countries, if they know you're American, they'll look at you like, huh, because it's something somebody else did. Because they may think that we all act the same, and we don't. And so that's what's really unfortunate about it. And now with dude acting crazy, they really don't want to stare. And I did hear before that when visas were coming up for renewal for American citizens, they were not renewing their visas. Like, they're just like, and it was ironic. I probably had shared this before, that I had mentioned, like, a little while ago to my therapist, might have been last year, that I used to think about, what if I leave the country? And he looked at me. I said, I don't have a plan. I'm not committed to anything. I said, but it is a thought that goes through my mind just because of how, stuff is going. This is too much water on this brush. Damn, look how thick this is. And so every now and then I would think about it. Like, what if I did just leave? Oh my gosh, y'all, this is horrible. And I didn't nail it this time, Janessa. Like, this is not bad, but when I look down, we'll work with it, because y'all know we works with stuff. And it was one day I was sitting here, not at my station, I was doing something, and I said, you know what, let me sit down and come up with a plan, so for me to really get out of here. And like 2 days later, that's when I started seeing thumbnails. Countries don't want U.S. citizens, they're revoking visas, they're not renewing visas. And I'm like, damn it. Like, as soon as I commit to making a plan, it's like, no, now you really can't go. Well, you can, but they might not renew your visa. And so I was telling my therapist about that. And he was like, well, where would you go? I said, I really don't know. But even if I picked a place, because he was kind of saying, like, pick a place and then work backwards. Pick a place and then do the plan. But I said, I can pick a place. And then what if, like, next year they're not accepting Americans? Like, and then I'm stuck wherever I am, like, in the interim. This one is definitely super thick. And so I was like, so am I just freaking stuck here? And I remember saying before, I wish I had family in another country, because I'd be like, hey, let me just come stay with you for like 2 or 3 months, get on my feet, find a place of my own, that type of thing. But I don't have family in another country to even like go visit and hang out. But I do think this pink does a lot for the look, but this is still just kind of throwing me off, and it might just be my brows. You saw a YouTube video yesterday about a lady out the country who has an Airbnb and says she will no longer rent to Americans. And I've seen thumbnails like that too, because they go over there and be acting stupid. Like, you are a visitor. So why are you going to come here? Thank you, Alexandra. I do like the color combination. I like the orange. I like how you see that light blue. I like how you can see a little bit of the different colors between here and here. This has the orange on top of the blue. I do really like it with the liner. And I think it's just my brows not being done that's throwing me off. So like the eye look itself, like I do like how that looks. So I'm going to put on with this white lashes. And so when you were in Colombia, there were 3 other Americans with us, and they were the worst. And they give us all a bad name. And the thing is as a person of color, I'm used to having a bad name because they lump us all together. Well, everybody don't, but sometimes we're lumped all together. And that's how it's turning out to be with just Americans in general. And that's what it turned into be with the immigrants. They're deporting U.S. citizens because they're bilingual or they're Hispanic or from Cuba or somewhere like that. As bad as it seems, Janice says, I can tell you we have it really good here compared to... Yeah, and I do believe that. I just get sick of his nonsense. And I'm like, this is going to be a long 4 years. And I'm at the place now where I'm just kind of like, whatever. I'm going to survive whatever. I've been through worse. And literally, I have been through worse. I mean, I have my apartment. I'm self-sufficient. I have everything I need and a lot of what I want. I mean, so living-wise, I'm good. It's just the mental bullshit. And every day is something different. I'm just hoping we don't end up in World War III, because he talking so stupid. So this is that white mascara. It's called, the shade name is Capacity. And I really like what this does to my lashes. I'm watching, but also doing the zoom. Y'all, we some multitask control, Alicia. You ain't the only one. I appreciate you having me on while you're in your Zoom. Girl, that's 2 swipes. Look at that. Look, that's 2 swipes. And I ain't even like turn the brush in my lashes like I usually do with other mascaras. So this is just really basic, just swiping from the bottom. Because sometimes I will, turn the brush, make sure it goes through the lashes. But this mascara, look at that. And they have other colors. I don't think the red would show up. For that, it might depend on what eyeliner I have on. And they have a blue, but then I'm like, is that going to show up? If I have on a white eyeliner or a yellow eyeliner, upper lash line, then yeah, it'll show up. But like this is showing up nice too because it's in front of the pink, but then it is kind of blending in a little bit. I was stressed earlier and almost made a drink, but it was too early in the day. Nobody would have knew. Alicia hasn't been able to play in makeup for 2 weeks, but that's got to change. Yeah, that's how I felt when I wasn't feeling well. And even though I had a reason, like, migraines, and a migraine med knocking me out, I was still like, I need to get back on track. But I am back on track. I got 2 weeks worth of videos scheduled. And so, y'all, look at the lashes. Look at y'all. Part of me wants to try their chaos. Yeah, and I do think that's a distraction too. Like, I do think it's more going on than what we know about, because he's just freaking nuts. I wonder who they paid for him not to be committed. I'm still thrown off, and I do think it's the brows, but I will get over it. That was just weird how I wrote that out, and it showed up the way it did. I had to be a Sonic. I had to be a Sonic drink, and it knocked me out with all the sugar. But she slept well. Oh my gosh! And I do have some Mountain Dew here and water over here. What we gonna do for a lip? There's a gray matte, lipstick that I do want from Notoriously Morbid, but I refuse to buy anything until my last order comes in because I'm like, this is just crazy. And a friend of mine, we were chatting about it, and it was like, why create Spellcast Beauty? And they're starting to ship slow now too. So why create a sister brand to ship quicker and it's really not? And you make this announcement about a shorter TAT, but then it's really not. So it's just like, and they still keep creating more and more stuff. And so I don't know if one person creates and other people do the orders. And I think it's only like maybe 3 or 4 of them anyway. But I'm just like, why? What was the point? And I love their stuff, and so I feel bad. That's green. When I say things like that, but it's just, and that's the entitlement stuff. I paid for it. I want it. If it was Ulta or Sephora, it would have been here in a week, or I just would have went to go pick it up if it was available. Did I just pick this one up already? We used this yesterday or the other day. Janessa, if I ask you, I know you're going to say green. Do this purple maybe. This would tone it down. Maybe a little bit too much for my liking right now. No. Gold. I would have to make it because I don't have a gold. I think, y'all, I feel sweat rolling down under my thing. I'm thinking this one or this one. I would have to make a gold because I don't have a gold. When I did, I could tap this on top. I don't know if that's actually gold. When I tapped it, what was it that I did? I put the shadow on it, and then I did something else, and it turned into frosting. I think it was you, Janet, that says I like the look, but I would no. I think it might have been it was the lashes. You said you like the eye look, but you wouldn't wear the mascara out. And somebody else had called that lip frosting. They said, "Yo, that was ridiculous." I was just like, "Oh my gosh." It's taking my package longer to come from other places. I wonder if it's because of most delivery service has been downsized. And that's a good point, and that's something I have not thought about. I don't remember. You know what? I do remember because I used the golden palette from Natasha Denona because that prompt was I'm golden. And so I think, it was the shade Oro, O-R-O, that I used for that lip. Where are you? I'm surprised I remember that. Hey, Jennifer! This was the shade that we tapped on top of the City Beauty lip oil that I had on. I'm still going to put this on, though, and we'll put it on top of this and see what happens. How you been, Jennifer? I be forgetting this is a dual chrome, even though it looks like it is, and it says purple base, bright teal, fuchsia pink. That's what it says. And so feeling entitled, I admit it. Because I remember I told you I emailed in asking if they can combine my orders because one said it was pulled for fulfillment and the other one didn't say anything. And they messaged me back saying, yes, we'll combine both of your orders. So when I saw, oh, that's good. I'm glad you're doing better. So when I saw the shipment notification and when the box came, I got all excited, but it wasn't both orders. I was just like, why are you up there with my emotions? And so I don't know what that was about. I think they forgot to give the note to whoever actually fulfills the orders. That's what I think happened. I do like this with that. And yes, we're going to tap gold over. Y'all, I am sweating. Like, what the frick of farfanugan. And I did spray with the Scandinavia spray. Maybe I'm having my own internal summer. But because I sprayed my face, foundation is not being pulled off my face. Let me get a brush so we can tap on this gold. I have 2 orders that are Spellcast Beauty, May 24th and May 30th. Still waiting for fulfillment, ready to ship. My Aunt Fanny. My last order was only 4 lipsticks, and I ordered that, yeah, May 23rd. No, April 23rd. It was April, because the palette and 2 lipsticks I ordered on the 11th of April. And the other order was from April 23rd. That one, I got an email like 2 weeks ago saying they pulled it for fulfillment. So I'm just like, takes 2 weeks to make the lips. Okay. So we're going to take Oro, the shade here. How did I get, oh, you said, hey, I did get notification that they were pulling the order. Yeah, they pulled mine like 2 weeks ago. And I'm just like, but then I don't know if it's pulled for fulfillment and then, no, I think it's awaiting processing first and then pulled for fulfillment and then shipping. That's what I think. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. And then tap this gold. Well, this is pretty. It's not gold, but I like this. Thank you for the hearts. I like it. Hey, Mikey. I'll be flashbacking y'all when I be talking to y'all. I do like this. But put in whatever I did. I don't know if I put pink over it. I don't remember what I put on it. But it did look like frosting. And it was not cute. This is nice. This is nice. And in person, I can see just a hint of the lipstick underneath. That's nice. All right, so this is the look that, oh, y'all, sweat running down my, I hate that feeling. I don't like it when I get excited because something says shipped and then it's still sitting for days because they just created the label. There's a brand, I forget what brand it is. When I get the shipment notification, it's in my box or at my door in like 4 days. So they really don't even do the label until they really are about to ship it. But other places, I'll be like, listen, don't be getting my hopes up. Don't be telling me no lies. I'm moving my mirror here. So this is the stack of stuff that we're going to look at. And no, these are not going to be decluttered. And this is going to sound weird, but I respect Temu. They give you like a 2-week time. It'll be like June 1st to June 23rd. And for me, it usually comes like in the middle of whatever time they say. But I'm like, yeah, just give me a long time frame. And then when it comes, I'm like, ooh. So what I'm questioning about, you know, let me turn my fan on over here, dog girl, my little YouTuber's tool. Thank you, Janet. The browser throwing me off. I mean, I don't think it's horrible. I like the eye look. I do like the eye look. I like the orange, the blue, the darker blue. I really do. I am glad we went with that liner. I like that the lower lash line is 2 different colors. Because with that palette, Circo Loco, you gotta just do some different stuff. But I don't think I'm gonna not do my brows again. So what I'm thinking of decluttering, y'all, are the Natasha Denona minis. And I remember saying they are amazing for if I just want a quick pick-me-up. And that is usually what I use them for. But lately, I haven't even been using them for anything. So they're just here. And I did stop counting them in my number of palettes. And so this is Sculpt. We all have blacks. This is not Sculpt. This is Xenon. So if I want to just deepen out a corner or, you know, or just add shine. But I haven't pulled any of these in a while. This is Sculpt. This also has a black. This one, I'm thinking to not keep it because I have Biba. Oh, the lip was on point with the inner corner shade. I was like, thank you. I didn't even think about that. Because usually I do be like, this goes with this, that goes with that. But yeah, you're right, Sarah, it does. Excuse me. I'm just in my perfume now. Yo, Grace is on the perfume, y'all. If y'all want to know the notes and how long it lasts and what you want to pair it with. And so I'm also thinking of declaring this one because, well, let me back up. This one because I have the Xenon palette. And because her palettes, the outside, you know what's on the inside, that would be an easy, quick pull. And I was thinking too from my lethal, but I would have to open it up to see what's in there. So I'm thinking of getting rid of this one. And all of these have a lot of life in them. And I do really like them all. I just don't use them. And they're not even in the way. That's why I'm thinking, like, am I just tripping? And so if I wanted to do an all matte look real quick, I could just use this by itself. Let go of the mini Xenon, says Tanya. And so, yeah, so I was wondering, like, am I just making up stuff? Am I just tripping or whatever? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Mini Rose, which I do really like, but then I have Bloom. And even though the color story is different, and we are going to look at them, the color story is different, but it's still like, I still have the pinks, and we got browns everywhere. And I have no show shades everywhere. So that's that one. Mini Pastel. I really do like this. But I have Circo Loco. It doesn't have a green in it, but I have greens in lethal. And this is what I could have pulled for the lip, but I forgot I even had it sitting here. And y'all know we got blues. I just showed y'all some really, really amazing blues. And even this color here. And we are going to look at the other palettes again too in comparison, because I did look at them. They're not the exact same, but if I want that vibe, I'm like, I got the vibe. And I was surprised how much I really like pastel, because I'm like, is it gonna make me ashy? No, it does not. And this is a really pretty palette, and that's why I'm like, am I just tripping? This one is the mini Zendo palette. This is grungy. I love this palette. So I'm like, am I just tripping? I really don't have anything much to compare this one to, unless, so let me just show you what I got here. Warm neutrals that Jennifer sent me, Biba, Bloom, a lethal palette. These are both the rainbow ones. One is Rainbow Orchid and one is Rainbow Shorebird. Thank you, Janessa, for that. Motley Autumn Vibes, because I was really trying to see if I have something similar. And this is my Mission Triple X inspired. We have Makeup by Mario, and we have the two Esom palettes. And so if I open up my Esom, and we have Circo Loco over here. Get rid of pastel and the one before it. Rose. I love them all though. That's the thing. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm just tripping or what. And so even though the colors are not exact, like I can substitute these two, even though this one is darker. You know, we got kind of, you know, grays over here, you know, pinks. And so it's like, and I was also thinking that using, well, if I get rid of the minis, how I was saying, you know, I pull from different palettes, or I would just pick one up for a particular color, that would encourage me to use more of my lethal. You know what I'm saying? So those are some similarities with this one out of just that one palette. Also a few from bronze. And part of me is like, do I even want to keep bronze? Yeah, there's nothing in here that's even remotely the same. Wait a minute. No, because these two purples. Well, you know what? These two in the corners are close. These two right here. It is easy, and it is a good travel palette, because whatever I do is going to look nice. But then part of me is like, would I miss it if I didn't have it? And then I'm like, then I get back to, am I just tripping? Wanting to get rid of stuff. You know what I mean? And so we look at Circo Loco again with pastel. And the part of me is like, just put them somewhere where I won't see them. And when I happen to come upon them, be like, oh yeah, I didn't miss it. So we have blues, we have a pink, but this is matte, whereas this one is not. And we have this shade here, and also this one here. So the only thing not in here is a green. Well, this is a green, but it's not this shade of green. This is a pastel green. And so when I look at what I have, I'm like, I got enough, right? So do y'all think I'm tripping? Or like, am I just making up stuff to get rid of or to do? Or what? And I'm not easily offended, y'all do know that. And so this is Bloom. And I've been thinking if I want to even keep Bloom. I am about a week into my Natasha Denona series. We're going to use each palette on its own, and then we're going to pair it. And I'm pairing this with at least, I think, I'll just say 2. I want to say 3, but at least 2 other palettes, because what I want to see is do I really want to keep it or not? So even though these are different tones, this is a lot lighter, but it's still like the same story except for this shade right here. And so, like, would I miss it? If I wanted a pink, I just grab one from here. So do y'all think I'll have a sip for both of us, Dion. So do y'all think I'm tripping or just making up stuff, or what? And I already know, Biba. I do really like this palette though. But if I wanted just a black, or if I wanted a flesh tone shade, these 2 right here, actually this one and this one can play off of that or substitute for that, even though they are different shades, but it's the same vibe. And this dark brown shade, here we go right here. Tanya says Scope can go. Tanya trying to get rid of all of my stuff. So we have something similar in Biba. And I knew when I got this, it looked like Biba, a mini Biba, but I still got it because I'm like, quick pull, grab if I just want a certain shade. But I realized like the last month I haven't even been pulling them. So that's what had me thinking like, just get rid of it. And we all know what Xenon look like. I ain't even pull that one out because we know what the regular Xenon looks like. And even though I do have, yeah, they do, right, Jennifer? So we know what the regular Xenon looks like. And the shades are different. I do not know her name. She did a video. She did one eye with the mini Xenon. And she tried to pair up as best as possible with the Xenon palette. And both the looks were different. And so the shades are different. I don't know what it has to do with complexion, undertone, or whatever. But they were not identical. And so this is different colors than Xenon. Maybe give it a week, says Sarah. I think if you think it's a make moment, put them away until another day and revisit. I have not pulled any of these, Sarah, in like a month. And when I look at them, I'm like, but, quick pull. But I haven't. And y'all know a manic. Yeah, I've been feeling like that. I've been wondering, like, am I just having a manic moment? And y'all know I don't like stuff just to have stuff. I like stuff to be used. You know what I mean? And this stuff is just sitting here. And also with, what was I looking at? I Need a Nude. Where is I Need a Nude? Where the hell is I Need a Nude? Am I not seeing it? Okay, here it is. So I appreciate that, Sarah. I think nobody else wanted to say it. So even looking at Isom, this is the Balance palette. This is like a Biba too. And I think I got the minis on sale too. So even though they're $25, I didn't pay $25 for it. So the colors are different. Like if you look at this bottom row and this row in the middle row, aside from the purples, I could easily, what am I doing? Like it's similar. It's very similar. And I have that black down at the bottom. The black. So I know I ain't getting rid of Biba or Circo Loco. I already know that. I have manic moments. They make good medicine for that. Go ahead and handle it now so you can get off my mind. Thank you, Sarah. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, let me just do this and have them help me out, because so with I Need a Nude, what I thought about was Makeup by Mario. If you take out, we're going to include this shade, but for purposes of holding it up, no, because of that blue. Sorry for the lights. Yeah, so if I wanted something like that we see in Mario, that's very similar to I Need a Nude, except I Need a Nude has those browns, but this has a lot more versatility. And so part of me is thinking to get rid of I Need a Nude. Now and again, I'm on your week into the Natasha series, and that's what's going to tell me, get rid of the larger palettes or not. I know I'm not getting rid of Biba or Lila. I already know that. But this one, I actually do like this palette. These two show up the same on me, so one would have been good. This is a Transformer shade. If y'all remember when I did the swatch party, if I keep Zendo, get rid of Mario. I think I would get rid of, oh, wait a minute, Xenon. Xenon and Mario? Oh, the little one. That's a good one. I didn't even think about that. You're talking about this one. Yeah, because this is kind of the same too. This one is different than that, but this doesn't really show up. And even though it's not the same silvers, it is still, but these two look exactly the same on me when I put them side by side. I'm like, why? And we have a black here too. That's a good one, Sarah. Thank you. Because I really didn't think about that. This is a Transformer shade. If y'all remember the swatch party, it just showed up like shine. But when I put it over top of the brown, the blue, and this black, this right, ooh. And I did just say that in the video. It didn't air yet. I think it's 10 palettes that surprised me. And so that is already aired. And so looking at another thing, don't be mad at me, Jennifer. This was Sideways, and Water came out. But at least it wasn't on anything, and I do always have cloths handy. So let me just put this cloth down here. And thankfully, it didn't spill on my palettes. The blue seems like an odd choice for that palette, but it works. It works. And I do say this in this video, so you guys will hear this again. The first 4 or 5 looks I did was based off of how they have them grouped for looks on the Sephora website. So it was like, these, and then it was like, these, and then it was this row, this little pocket. And I pretty much did like all the looks. But the blue, for me, the blue does a lot for this palette. And I think because it's deep. Because y'all get it. And I feel weird saying this isn't my vibe, but then I friggin' love I Need a Nude. And I think just because it's different than anything else, but next to this one, it's not. So this is like a condensed version of, trying to get the glares off. This is like a condensed version of I Need a Nude. It's me too long. I've seen nice looks. Yeah, and so it serves a purpose. Don't be mad at me, Jennifer. One of my, and this is good for travel too. Very monochromatic. Jennifer sent, and I'm saying that to her because she sent me this. She purchased something, and they had free gift with purchase, and she already had this palette, this warm neutrals, and she sent me this. This one, I don't know if that's hard pan or what, but this one is a dud. This one is a dud. When I do get it to show up, it's really pretty. But I was looking at this like, keep Mario and get rid of Xenon Mini. That's what you said earlier, right, Sarah? Yeah, I think that's what you said. I'm opening the wrong palette. What was I gonna compare that to bronze or to bloom? I think to bloom. So some of the colors, like the tans and even like these two right here, those two red shimmers. But the palette as a whole, I would say no, it is the same vibe. The only thing that really makes it different is these two up here in this corner. And this green down here, it does add something, but it's so friggin' hard to work with. Oh, you said it the other way around. Okay. And then I was also thinking about bloom. And all of these are easy to work with. Y'all know I don't like dupes in my collection though. Bloom is brighter. Bloom is brighter, but then it also has like how these two shades in this corner and these two down here, like they do not show up on me, but the vibes are the same. And so part of me, I am thinking like, do I want to declutter bloom? But we'll know by the end of thank you, Jennifer. I will know by the end of my Natasha series, but I do kind of have a feeling that this is going to go. The only thing with that is if I get rid of bloom, am I going to wish that I had kept the mini rose? That's the only thing. And so that's why I'm like, I don't know. Hey, Joe. And so what, all right, this is what I'm gonna do, y'all. I am going to set the minis aside, 'cause I haven't used them in over a month. I'm gonna sit them somewhere else, and we'll see at the end of the Natasha Denona series, like if I'm going to get rid of Bloom, if I'm going to get rid of Bronze, if I'm going to get rid of I Need a Nude and keep Mario instead. And so, and I kind of feel weird saying that because I love Natasha's palette. And I do really like this one. All the looks were really nice. I just have two duds. This one and that one. And that's unfortunate because this does add something to the palette. But I don't know. And it is a good travel palette because it is easy to use. It's not a lot of mess. And so the formula is good except for just those two. But looking at... We're going to look at the two Rainbow Lethal palettes. And even looking at my Lethal stuff, like there was nothing that was really exact for anything. And y'all know Lethal is his own thing. Lethal is going to pop a look no matter what you do if you're using the shimmer. So even like for this one, you know, I was thinking of that one shade, but that's only one shade out of the whole palette. You know what I mean? And so even going through, and this is a dual chrome. This is a dual chrome or multi-chrome, so that doesn't count. So even looking at my Lethal, like there is really no comparison, maybe to the eye. But remember when I tried to dupe out Petalmorphosis with Lethal, just eyeballing it, those looks were completely different. Like Lethal was just like, we ain't playing and you know we ain't playing, so why are you playing? And also with Bronze, I have this, and that's why at first I thought not to get Bronze. Because this does give a lot more versatility than the Bronze palette. And so it's kind of sounding like Bronze ain't going to make it past the next couple months. And so this is what they look like together. And even as far as this purple here, we have these kind of purples here. We just don't have this dark one. But yeah, I'm having a manic moment. So I'm going to just show y'all these two Rainbow Lethals. And then, yeah, the less stuff I have, it's like the more peaceful my life is. You're partial to Bronze. I really do like it. The formula is amazing. It's amazing. And thank you to the members who helped me name these palettes, because I'm thinking, how am I going to know what has what? This is Rainbow Orchid, so I know it's rainbow colors, bright colors, and this is Rainbow Shorebird. Thank you, Janessa, for that. And so I know this is going to have bright shades in it too. And why am I saying that? I'm saying that because of the pastel palette. If I want to just pick a bright shade, even though they're not exact, the blues are different, and this doesn't have a green in it. This is orange, not pink, but you know, whatevs. This is like a bright yellow. This is more of a gold. But I do think it would satisfy that. And I don't use shades like this green like that often. And so I was looking at this palette, like, if I wanted a quick pull, first of all, I said, how would I know? Because the Lethal, the Lethal palettes is just a color. It's not like Natasha Denona where you look at it, Yucca, I'm looking at this swamp water. Glam, that's that gray mid-tone. Xenon is black. Gold is golden. Bronze is bronze. Bloom is pink. You know what I mean? But with Lethal, I don't know. But knowing that these two are rainbow palettes, this is Rainbow Shorebird. That's this one. So if I wanted the quick pull, these only show up one shade, even though they're marbled. This shows up like a gray. This shows up like a blue. This shows up like a light purple. This shows up like a magenta type shade. And so even though this looks like it would be a dark shade, it's not. That could substitute for the center shade in pastel. And because of how this shows up, this one, it may or may not work for that or for that. And I do have a different color green. Sorry to give you a finger up here. And so I do think I'm okay with getting rid of pastel because I know I can just pull Rainbow Shorebird or Rainbow Orchid. And I really don't use my Lethals enough. And so that's what had me in this spiral of if I just want a quick pull, just use, because I really don't use my Lethals enough, y'all. I really don't. And I love the formulas. They have worn you out. Who worn you out? Oh, your Zoom meeting. I thought it was one today, but it wasn't, because then I got a notification it was next Sunday. Because sometimes I do be sleeping through it. Because it'll be like 3 o'clock. And I'm like, I just went to sleep at noon. So this is where my head is at right now. I don't know. I think, I'm trying to think of how to do it. At the end of our Natasha series, you'll watch the replay so you can get, okay, what's going on. I'm just being manic. I asked if I was, and Sarah said yeah, and I appreciate that. My feelings are not easily hurt, and nobody else said either way, so I think they just didn't want to be like, Dion, you tripping. Just calm the hell down and put your palettes away. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just sit the quints somewhere else, the 5 pans. Who's Lisa? Did I miss somebody? Oh, hey, Lisa. I didn't see you. I apologize. How are you today? Oh, you're in Vietnam. I don't know what manic is, I guess. It's when like somebody's head is just spinning and it's just like, and you're looking at them like, why are you acting like that? It ain't really that big. It's not a big deal. And so that's kind of how I was feeling like, and then I'm like, am I just making up stuff? So I'm going to put these 5 away, but when I look at them, especially when I look at Sculpt, I'm just like, but I haven't used it in over a month. So, and I really like all of these. I like every single one. This one I'm gonna get rid of. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now, because I had said I was going to use it to pair with some of my Notoriously Morbid, like some of their all metallic dual chrome palettes. But to be honest, these shades aren't deep enough for that, because some of those are the lighter tone multi-chrome dual chromes. I mean, maybe it might work. Maybe I need to do that. I might need to play around with that. You know what? I'm gonna just get rid of these, because I already said it. I haven't used this in I don't know how long. And I kept these because these are shades that are kind of quirky. These two, because these are grungy. But I haven't used this in I don't know when. Okay, Janessa, thank you. And we got oranges in Circo Loco, which barely show up, but I cannot get rid of any more ND because she needs to go deeper or richer. Yeah. We'll chat later, Janessa. I still have all that stuff I need to do. So this is we're definitely getting rid of this one. I'm gonna sit these aside, and if I don't use them in another month, even though we are doing our Natasha series, then I will get rid of those. Y'all know I'm not getting rid of Esom. Y'all already know that. So what's going to be, I don't want to say up for grabs, because I don't know if I'm going to do a giveaway, or put them in my Macari store. I think if I bundled them, I think someone would really appreciate that. They do have a lot of life in them. Natasha stuff, PAO is 24 months. So they're good for at least 2 years. And so I'm not going to trash them. But what I really feel like is going to be on the chopping block is, I was putting away my lethals. And some of my lethal palettes, the darker ones, like my, particularly the anxiety one, and my 669 dupe, that would be good to pair with some of the Notoriously Morbid ones. So what's going to be on the chopping block is bronze. I'm not sure, and don't be mad at me, Jennifer. I'm not sure about this one because it is the same vibe. Other than those 2 shades, though, it works really well and it's really easy to use. And I took it to Academy where I had like 20 minutes to do my makeup and the look was done and it was nice. The vibes are the same. Bronze is more bronzy. However, the bronzy shades blend into my complexion, whereas these don't. So that's the difference with those. And so what will be on the chopping block will be bronze. And I really don't think I would miss it. I would miss seeing it because it looks pretty with my other Natasha stuff. Bloom is on the chopping block, unless what I pair it with, I'm really like, wow, yeah, I just need to keep pairing it. And so we are going to pair this with at least 3 other palettes, and one of them will be the bronze palette. And I thought about taking out like some of the tan shades in here, which blend in, and mixing them, removing some of these light pinks in here that don't show up. So that way everything would show up. And so that's the thought I had too, is like how I did with Retro Glam and the Glam palette, and Xenon with Retro Glam. And so that's something else I've been thinking about, and that might be what I do. The only downside is there's only there's only 5 mattes in bronze, and that's what I would want, and of deeper shades to put in with Bloom, and maybe even get rid of like all 3 of these right here. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's what I'll do. We'll see what happens when I pair it. At the end of our Natasha Denona series, we'll do a video and we'll be like, okay, this is what's going. Also want to chop and block is, and I really love Natasha's formula, but I do feel like this is going to go and Mario is going to take that spot. That's how I feel right now, but we will see. I appreciate y'all dealing with my manic behavior and me just thinking up stuff. Thank you for the eye look, doing that first. And so that's where I'm at with all of this. And so it would only maybe be like 2, 3 maybe palettes we get rid of. I'm not going to get rid of Golden because I have these 4 star shades in here. And so I really do like how this looks. But yeah, so I enjoy Gold and Metropolis. I want her to bring Metropolis back. I would buy that in a freaking heartbeat. I use that palette so much. And when I would travel, that would be the only palette I would take because I can do neutral, I can do monochromatic, I can do a dark blue look, a dark green look, I can do a grungy look with the greens and the mustards, and I love that freaking palette. Nude, I could not, but my best friend loves it. Yeah, and I actually really like it. I need them to do another 669 too, but they're not going to do it. I'd be surprised if they did because I remember I actually even emailed them asking, are you going to like re-release 669? And they replied back saying, no, but we have other exciting palettes. And I'm thinking if they were exciting, I wouldn't be asking you about 669. So yeah, they're not going to do it. But then who knows, because Nomad bought stuff back. How do y'all feel about the palettes Nomad bought back? I do really want them to do another 669. Jennifer, I'm trying to see if I have something to write a note. Do me a favor, Jennifer, email me what you wrote here about Bloom and Nude. Because if I do get rid of those, either one or the other, I will be more than happy to send that your way. And it's not to make up for if I keep this or not. Because I was curious about this. But yeah, do me a favor and just email me, or if you have my number, text me about Bloom and Nude. And whichever one I get rid of, that'll go to you. You win and check, you'll win. Those shades are topper shades. Oh, the 2 that didn't work for me. This one is hard pan. I'm looking at it and it's just like, this is hard pan. I can still work with it, but it's hard pan. This I can work with, but it's more trouble than I usually want to put in. And it is a pretty shade, but it doesn't want to pick up, even with a sponge tip. And that's why it has that dip in it, because I was using a sponge tip. So that's why that looks like that. But it still was hard to work with. But the formula, other than that, the formula is really good. You filmed the Little Mermaid look. The mermaid palette I had ordered, Jennifer, it was trash. It was trash. The shades didn't want to pick up. They didn't want to put down. I think I did 2 looks, one on each eye, and I'm like, oh, hell to the no, no, no. I put it in my Macari store and it sold within 6 hours. But so I'm just thinking it's a dud, because I remember you saying you had it and you loved yours. And I'm like, mine was complete garbage. Complete garbage. And because I did get it on sale, I did make most of my money back from it. You have only bought indie for others, says Janet. Yeah, if they did another 669, I would buy that in a heartbeat too. And the one I got, I ordered it from Belgium. I didn't even wait for it to get the beauty bag. I saw it, I ordered it, full price, shipping, all of that. I was like, I don't care. I wanted that palette. CML palette doesn't have any toppers. The Little Mermaid. Yo, that whole thing for me was trash, that mermaid palette. It was like she wasn't swimming, her toe was broke. I don't know what the hell. You love the Nomad palettes. Did you order all 3 of them? Because I think they did a bundle also, right? For those who wanted all 3. You wanted Province, said Janet. You haven't gotten any new palettes in 2025 yet. I'll check them out. My code is not affiliated either. So if you want to put coin in somebody else's pocket that has a code, you know, that's really cool too. Gotcha, will do. Sigma has a bundle. Yeah, I keep getting emails that they're still having their Disney stuff on sale, and I'm turned off now because I had thought before that I wanted to get Angela's palette because it has darker tones in it. But because I'm torn, I have Untamed. I love everything in there. This one is 2 duds. Mermaid was complete trash. And so now I'm looking at Sigma like, I think I need to quit while I'm ahead. I have a palette I love, and there's only 2 duds in here. I'm like, let me just stay right here and not get nothing else. Okay, Alicia, thank you. You got the 3 bundles? Yeah. Yeah, they played the game. Which one should we bring back? And they couldn't. They brought them all back, all 3. I am curious, though, about the formula change in Berlin Underground, but I know I wouldn't use it much because I do prefer darker grunge tones. And that was earlier in my makeup journey, knowing that I like grunge, but now having worked with dark-based grunge colors, I'm just like, you know, would I really use it? And so, you have 3 Little Mermaid palettes, Jennifer? 1 for you to give away, a backup, and probably Abby. Wow. Yeah, mine's was... That whole palette was trash. I'm like, it has to be just mine because I'm like, Jennifer loves it, so it can't. And I know you don't like trash stuff. And when I see you do your looks, I mean, everything was so effortless. And I'm like, yeah, it's just mine. They sent me a dud. But yeah, so thank you, y'all, for helping me process all of this. And so you're going to be seeing a lot of looks with just the Natasha Denona palettes. And I will be fitting them into the Creative Art with Heart collabs because one prompt was I am golden. I used the golden palette, and another prompt was baby, I'm a star. My golden palette has star shades in it, so I was really literal with that. And so I will be fitting in Natasha into those prompts as far as the color story so I can at least stay within the series and get that done. And after the series is done, we'll come back and I'll be like, this is what we're getting rid of. And if it's only like 2, maybe I'll just do a post. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. They all have a lot of life in them. And so I'm not sure about these. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. I don't know. My giveaways usually don't go over well, and it becomes frustrating for me. But so we'll see. But I do have a feeling all of these are going to go, and I am going to make it a point to just start pulling from Lethal because I have a lot of them and they don't get used enough. Yeah, so that's going to kind of be it. I may have missed it. Have you used this? Tanya, you with that cleanser? No, I have not. You haven't missed it. I have not used the video yet. Do you think you're going to buy it? Is that why you're asking? I think it's like $40-something though. So I'm like, Tanya ain't going to buy that. That's an expensive cleanser. Don't quote me on the price, but for some reason I'm thinking it was like $48. But no, I haven't used it yet. They have a sale though, but even like 20% off, it would still be a lot though. Like, do you think you would really buy that? I did see your post, your Clinique stuff. You had a whole box of goodies. I'm like, she do be shopping. Tanya on the download do be shopping. Oh, you just want my opinion? Yeah, when I use it, I will do a video and talk about it. You keep getting coupons. Then I had $20 off, 57 for the month. Yeah, that does it. When them codes and the coupons, and that's why I like Ulta also, because you can stack your codes and you can use points and you can point multipliers and all of that stuff. But anyway, so thank y'all for enduring my manic episode and not making me feel straight up crazy. And it did help to just get it out and to just formulate and hear what I'm saying. Yeah, so bronze is on the block, bloom is on the block, I need a nude is on the block, and warm neutrals. But you know what, part of me is saying I am going to want one of these because they are the same vibe though, so that'll be a toss up. Or if I mix bronze with bloom, that's really kind of what I'm thinking. I know I said it earlier, but then I forgot that quick. So that might be what I do. But we'll wait to the end of the series, see what the pairings look like, see how I'm feeling about the looks that I'm doing, and then we will come to a conclusion. And so, yeah. So that's going to be it for tonight, y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you for the look, because I did want to do it. But y'all know what? I am going to do my brows before I take pictures, though, because It's just like here it's so it's okay, but like here it's like you ain't got nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna do my brows before I take the pictures. Um, and I do like this mascara, y'all. Look, I love it. So we're going to go. Thank you again for being here. Alicia picked up the Tatcha oil cleanser, 10 times the points. That's how you shop, because them points be adding up quick. Add up quick. Um, when Sephora has like plus 250 points for something, I'll be looking for something to buy, and it's usually something that is a backup because then I know I will really use it. Gold brows. I don't have a goal to put. Oh, you know what? You need to join, Janet. I do have this. I don't think that would. Ew, I don't know. I don't know, Janet. I don't know. I don't know. Because this is gold. So it blends in a way, but then in a way it doesn't. And so it's just like would that even make a difference? Alicia's in silver. You need to join too, Alicia. Y'all know that's one of the perks. Members get to decide stuff for what I do. But this the silver would show up for sure because that's silver. And this is NYX, y'all. And this one is NYX. I know. Swatch one in hand because I'm going to take a picture of my face. And so I don't want to do that. And so this is the silver. I'm looking like Storm from X-Men. So the gold just blends in. But that's silver. You know what? I think the silver would look nice. Because of okay, Jennifer, don't forget to message me because I'll forget as soon as this is over. Do a storm look using Xenon. That's a good idea. I'm gonna have to write that down. Because I'll end the live and be like, what'd she say? You have tried to join, but you have no clue how. Okay. Because when you click the link, it tells you what the perks are, and then there's a thing that'll say join, and then when you click that, it'll actually have you like put in your information, and then that's how you join. Did I just move y'all? I'm sorry. Storm from X-Men. All right, let's see real quick. I got the mirror in front of my thing. It is showing up, but oh, this is nice. But what's going to happen over here where there's no hair? That's the thing. Oh, that plays off of the white mascara. See, Janet, you be having good ideas. You should join so you can be there for our members only Shop My Stash live where y'all get to pick my whole face. Dawn did the last one, so that was her look. I like this. And this looks better to me than just, like, it's just too bare. Hi, Marcella. How are you today? Okay, Alicia. Yes, Alicia, please play your makeup and just do stuff. Because this is just me right now just doing stuff. I done said bye like 3 times and we're still here and doing more stuff. I was so glad when I started feeling better. And when I started, playing the makeup again, I was like, wow. And I was trying to crank stuff out because I didn't have any in the bank. But now I have, I'm scheduled out for 2 weeks. And so I am very much back on track. I don't know if they stop in the same place. Kind of, sort of. You're going to the trip the end of the week. Okay, well, it'll be there. No rush. No rush. This is cute. This is cute. I like this. That was a good idea. Thank you, y'all. And that did not take long at all. And because how light the color is, it's not noticeable that they're not even in here. Like when I do them dark, it's just like, yeah, one's over here and one is way over here. And one curves down more and one just stops like straight. And so trying to get them even. Thank you for the hearts. Was challenging. Trying to get them like this inside part to look the same. Now I wish I would have kept that gray lip. Now I wish I would have kept this gray lip. Y'all were like, "Oh, we're gonna put this back on." I like to reflect too. I inspired you to buy the Estee Lauder Double Wear 4 and 2. Do you really like it? I stopped using it. I'm like stuck on Fenty right now. But I do still use the Estee Lauder 4 in concealer. This is perfect. It works under my eyes well too, but it's perfect for here because around under my nose is a little bit darker because of my disrespectful mustache area. It was a perfect match. Oh man, that's exciting. Thank you for sharing that. When somebody tries something, because it's something I said, or if somebody says, "Oh, I ordered such and such," I'm like, "Oh shit." But then when they be like, "Oh yeah, it's great, I love it," I'm like, "Whew." I'm like, okay. Because I purchase stuff at people's recommendation, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, I just like wasted my money. You tried the Fenty too? They've been having sales too. And when I would get the Estee Lauder, I would get it from Ulta during a sale or point or something because that's expensive. But I do really like it. I got tired of having to keep buying pumps for it. And I like that the PAO is 24 months. And so even if I use that half the time and use Fenty half the time, I still would use up the whole container. Yeah, I like this with the silver brows. The silver lip with the silver brows. This is nice. Yeah, I really did enjoy it. I just got tired of keep buying pumps because even though because I would put the new pump, well, I would put the old pump in the new foundation, but then it would never pump, and so I always had to buy another one. Or sometimes the pump might be gift with purchase, we buy the foundation, and so that's what I would do. But also I found out the MAC pumps at that time they were $6. The MAC pumps fit the Estee Lauder Double Wear concealer. I mean the foundation. But yeah, if only you can find your shade in the Fenty. It took me for them to create the newer shades because I wear 335. I didn't have a shade at first. And so they came out with new shades. I said, let me try again. I'm glad that I did. This is giving you Sub-Zero vibes. I love this with this. You know what? This I can do a winter wonderland look. I'm gonna have to write that down too. I keep saying I need to write stuff down. To do, excuse me, in the winter. And I haven't tried that powder foundation at all. 420 is your shade of 410. Yeah. They matched me with 310, and as the day went on, I looked more and more pink. And then they matched me to the 330, and I'm like, well, y'all just matched me to the 310 like 2 weeks ago. So then they matched me to the 330, and as the day went on, I got more and more brown. And so, yeah, because that foundation does oxidize on me. What's curious is that Dion Lady Frost, not pink. Yeah, like as the day went on, I was more and more pink. I'm like, I am not pink like at all. And I was just like, ugh. And that's when I'm like, okay, this oxidizes. So what's curious though is that the Soft Matte 335, that oxidizes because when y'all see me put it on, y'all can see it. And it's like, okay, that looks a little too light. But once everything is on and it settles in, it's my perfect shade. The Soft Lit, that one does not oxidize. So if I put like the Soft Lit here, it'll look my complexion. I put the Soft Matte here, it looks too light. But once the Soft Matte dries down, they both look exactly the same. Because I did one Soft Lit and one half with the Soft Matte. And so it's just really curious how one oxidizes and the other one doesn't. Yeah, it is tricky. It is tricky. And what I was kind of like, damn, like in the beginning is when she first came out with the foundations and she was doing like a live stream or something, not a live stream, like a short or something like that. Maybe it was because somebody asked her what her shade was. And she said she didn't have a shade in Fenty foundation. And I was like, how you create a foundation and you don't even have a shade for yourself? I was like, she really do care about the consumers because she had to mix her own foundations to get a shade to match her. I do think she has one now though, since she came out with extra shades. But I'm like, how do you create a foundation and you don't have a shade that match you? Like that did I was like, what? Yeah, it is tricky. And because it did oxidize, I was just like this. So they could match you to it, but as the day go on, you won't be looking like something else. But yeah, so the soft matte oxidizes, it goes on light, oxidizes, perfect shade. The soft lit, it just goes on perfect shade. So I think that's just like, but anyway, that's where that's at. So we are going to go, y'all, because we just sitting here chit-chatting right now, which I love. I love this right here because we just sitting around chit-chatting about makeup. And thanks again, y'all, for, do the look first. Thank you for I do like the silver with this lip, the silver brows with the lip. I do like that. And this does look complete to me. And I think it was just a lack of having a tail. And also having the brows done, it grounds this orange because it was just the orange is almost my skin tone, but it's not. And then it was just this blank space. And that's what was throwing me off, I think. All right, so we're going to go because we're really just babbling. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Everybody have a good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are in the world. I don't know what Thursday's video, our live stream is going to be Thursday, but I'll think of something and I'll schedule it. And yeah, y'all will see me Thursday. Good night, everybody. Thanks again.